Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL Don't Panic. Friday morning, and I don't know what to do. The Isak is well and truly amongst the Pigeons. We had all the European matches, and obviously there was quite a lot of information came out of that, and it wasn't necessarily all information that I wanted, but it is what it is. My last video was relatively, I don't think any of us are going to be happy with our game week 5 teams, just because it's a bunch of awkward fixtures. There is no, unless you're free hitting, there is no really good way of having a perfect bunch of fixtures. Just absolutely impossible. There's going to be all sorts of clashes and players against players that you've got against each other, defenders against goalkeepers. Sorry, yeah, attackers against goalkeepers, I should say. You know what I mean? But felt as I looked across the FPL landscape, yeah, pretty much the same for everyone, or most people anyways, unless, as I say, unless you are free hitting. But yeah, the Isak dilemma now. Team is currently still, as you see it there, that's as I had it set out, and that's what pretty much finalized in the last video. Pretty happy with it. As we sort of, as I look at it, a few things might tweak in terms of subs. I guess the big question: Petrovic or Dubravka. Very much 50-50 call. Could be a toss of a coin. But if I do play Dubravka against a Villa team that's not firing, you know, it creates another clash. This clash is all over the place because then I'm always going to have Elliott out there. So it's clashes all over the place. But Petrovic generally has been going okay, and Newcastle have not been scoring a lot of goals. So fingers crossed that he got with some save points at least, but hopefully the clean sheet. But then of course got Burn, potential clean sheet there. 0-0 draw would be just absolutely lovely there, wouldn't it? Lacroix, yeah, good fixture. I actually fancy this could maybe be one where I get an attacking return finally from a defender. Lacroix really good off set pieces. Maybe he might get one against West Ham defence that is looking really bad against set pieces. Van Dijk, Everton at home, grand, showing an average of 5 at the moment, picking up his DEFCON here and there. Shame he didn't save his goal. I said, Van Dijk will get 2 to 4 goals a season, but unfortunately he's got one of those goals in the Champions League. So maybe hopefully he hasn't used them all up and could maybe get something against Everton. Sanisi, again, grand, it is what it is. Tricky fixture against Newcastle. Would imagine he will pick up his DEFCON in that, so should hopefully have a ceiling of 3 to 4, but never know, might pick up the clean sheet. Gapco, potential problem, come back to that in a second. Semenyo, Newcastle home. Yep, is what it is, but Semenyo's been going great. Looks like he may be on penalties now, so even better. Bringing in Harvey Elliott for this one. Villa finally scored a goal. Elliott got the goal. Wasn't a particularly pretty goal, but a goal to goal. Maybe that sort of bursts the seal for Villa and they can start scoring a few. And against Sunderland, hopefully Elliott can get amongst it with a goal or an assist. Mateta, that's one of the worries that has come up out of Europe. With I think it was Glasner saying that he feels that he needs to rest Mateta. So certainly hope it is not for this one. Mateta's lifespan in this team is probably no more than another game or two anyways. So hopefully he does get the start against West Ham. Ekatike, definite problem. Come back to that in a second. And Haaland's an Arsenal away fixture. Not fantastic, but Haaland scored again during the week. He's on form. So fingers crossed we can get something there. And then I've got obviously Dubravka, Tarkowski, Dewsbury Hall and Rodri on the bench. It's not great, but if everyone was starting, I'd have been happy enough with it given the nature of the game week that it is. But of course now we do have, as I said, the Isak amongst the Pigeons. He started where I don't think too many of us expected him to start in midweek. And he looked sharp. And Slot is saying he looked fitter than he expected. So he's going to get some reasonable minutes against Everton. Does he start or does he come on for the last 30? Does it matter? Do I just go with plan A and roll my transfer, which is option 1, and if Ekitike only gets 60 or 30, Liverpool tend to score most of their goals in the last 30 anyways, so he's in at the pointy end of things when things are happening, or he's on for 60. Gapco, minutes risk as well, potentially there as well, early subs. Yeah, it is an issue, and it just depends what I just say, just it is what it is. Get more information and have 2 transfers going into 6. And then, as I say, starts to bring in maybe Isak, maybe now start to bring the Arsenal assets. João Pedro, Palmer's looking good. Palmer is putting his hand up again. The easy one. So let's run through the options here. Option 1, do nothing, just take it on the chin. Maybe I get lucky. Option 2, take Ekitike out, who does seem to be the biggest risk, for João Pedro. It also puts a little bit more money back in my kitty. Do that, and then get to 6, and then maybe look at potentially do I bring in Palmer for Gapco in 6. That sounds pretty good. And then I can look at maybe Gyökeres in for Mateta in 7. Just gives me 1 Arsenal asset, but it's a pretty good looking team, I think. That would be Gyökeres, João Pedro, Haaland as a front 3, and then Senesi, Semenyo, Palmer, and then Rodri, decent fixtures, or Harvey Elliott. Sort of looking at a 4-3-3, really, really decent 5 defenders that I can rotate right through to 10. Maybe bringing in players as I need them or want them. Could bring Gabriel in that process, through maybe an 8, maybe bringing Gabriel for Van Dijk. Van Dijk. Would I want to do that for Man United home? Probably not. Probably not. Maybe I just have to settle. I'm not going to be trebled up on Arsenal. It might just be a double and maybe just a single start out with, but that I've got a really good looking team going out across those fixtures for up to 10, 11, 12, and try and roll some, because there's going to be another big fixtures swing in 11 and 12. Because the other one that's on my mind is just based on one performance I know and someone that has not been playing well. Well, I need to get to Salah at some point. He actually did look more like himself in that game in midweek. Goal, an assist, had Frimpong behind him. Actually looked pretty good. I thought he looked pretty good. Has that been the problem, that he hasn't actually had a recognised right back behind him? Don't know. Too early to be making any panicky moves trying to bring in Salah, because that really would break the whole spreadsheet layout. So it's what's to do. So just review. Brain processing here at the moment. 1, do nothing. Just go with this. Could potentially, I guess, bring in, take Ekitike out completely and just bring in Tarkowski. It wouldn't surprise me if Everton managed to keep a clean sheet against Liverpool. But let's keep it simple. Ekitike out for João Pedro. Good fixture. Or Gapco out for Palmer. Very good captaincy option in a week where captaincy options are pretty difficult. And bring in Tarkowski instead of Ekitike. Now that I've voiced it, that doesn't sound that crazy. Thinking about that one. Or do nothing. Or do nothing. Just let this go. Take it on the chin. Might get lucky. Ekitike will get either 30 or 60. I think Gapco is kind of okay for now, based on what we saw in midweek. And then we'll and then we'll have 2 transfers to have a little bit more flexibility with who to move in and out, and, you know, what to do basically, and more information. Don't know. So it's a very, very long-winded way of saying my team is not set yet, unless I just stay as I am. The Isak is well and truly amongst the pigeons. Take care, have fun, play your own game. Don't panic. Why would we panic? See you soon. Bye bye.